This is Movie Club number 29 for the Netflix movie The Ritual. Or should I say just regular movie? We're gonna drop it was on Netflix. It's very important to say it was on Netflix, but it still kind of chaps my ass that they don't want Netflix movies to be nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
But, it's a movie. It's a film that was the heart and soul was poured into it by, I'm sure, a shitload of people.
Yep.
And anyway, this movie was fucking crazy.
Right?
It was wild. Did not expect the route that it took. I didn't watch anything about it. I didn't read anything about it. I just kind of went into it blind.
Right. So this movie came on my radar. My sister's now fiance told me about it. Marcus was super into this. They watch a lot of scary stuff. And so he told me to check this out. And so I watched it, and I sort of saw where it was going at the beginning with, I guess I don't want to say that. So I'm halfway through the movie, right? And it's fucked up. Everybody's starting to die. And I start thinking to myself, like, why is it called The Ritual? You know what I mean? Like, they're in the woods, but there's this monster, there's this something not human chasing them, right?
Yeah.
So why is it The Ritual? And then the third act of the movie was The Ritual. I was like, oh, here we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And this movie is, I thought when I was done with it, it was a lot smarter than it started out as because of that. Like, that was one reason where I thought it was a lot, like, the whole time it had a very, it had two directions. Because I'm thinking to myself, the friend that hurts his knee, I forget their names. I watched this like a month ago. I forget their names. The friend that hurts his knee, when they all have their first nightmares in that creepy ass fucking cabin in the middle of the woods.
That I would have never stayed in a million years.
Stay on the path. If you've ever been hiking in your life, there are signs that explicitly say, stay on the path.
There are rules. There are rules here.
That's how you die when you go off the path, whether it's steep cliffs or rocks or monsters. So they all have their nightmares, and I'm pretty confident that it's a monster throughout the whole movie, right? But then the guy that hurts his knee at one point, and he goes, "No, hillbillies out in the woods, they're chasing us." This and I'm like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" There hasn't been anything in the movie so far to support that. And then, come the end, he saw it in his nightmare.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool little piece to the movie. What did you think?
Overall, I did enjoy it. I didn't expect the whole like legitimate monster to this whole scenario. Like, I was expecting like an Exorcist type shit. Like, I was expecting like possessions, demons, maybe like some hinting towards, but I did not expect to see a full-on monster. And honestly, they did it. They handled it like a master. Like it was like almost. And I'm not gonna. This is gonna be a crazy comparison. It's almost Alien-esque. Like, they showed, at the end you see a lot of the monster, which is apparently Loki's spawn, and Loki is like in the history books, or not the history books, but like in mythology. What? Yeah, right. So yeah, right. So is he Loki, or is he a spawn of Loki? I forget what they said in the movie. Right? It was a spawn.
Yeah, spawn, but it's still like they still consider it a god.
Right. Yeah. Sure. But they really did a tremendous job of like keeping this monster in the shadows for most of the movie, like hinting at, like, showing it without showing it. That's the kind of the using sounds. That's the Steven Spielberg approach to it. That's like what happens in Jaws. And I hate to bring up Steven Spielberg's name now because it's kind of sour in my mouth. But, like, that's what happens in Jaws. That's what happens in Alien. Like, it's without showing it. And then towards the end, you start getting like full glimpses of this monster. And honestly, between the practical and CGI effects, like, this movie looks like it has the budget of a movie 2 times its worth. I have to imagine.
I agree. You know why? I recognize the main actor, he's in like he was in Hot Fuzz, and he's in like
Yeah.
he was in an episode of Black Mirror. He's in like a lot of British things, I would say. Actually, he was in Prometheus. He was in Prometheus, actually.
Oh, oh my God, you're absolutely
One
right.
of the scientists that got his arm broken.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, so they didn't blow the budget on actors. Everything was shot pretty. I wouldn't want to say guerrilla style, but
in the woods.
Everything was out in the woods,
Yeah.
so there weren't like sets, and it was dark for most of the movie. So, it seems like that they spent that money on the creature, and it was 100% worth it. And I found myself like the part where you see the creature, a hand of the creature.
Oh my God.
First of all, my heart was in my fucking mouth.
Are you talking about when he goes up ahead and he looks through like the trees and he sees the
Yeah.
hand? Oh my God, that was.
I rewound like 3 times trying to see it in the woods, but all I could see was the hand.
It was fucking creepy as fuck. The way that, like I said, the way they reveal it is crazy. And then the big buildup at the end when you have the whole ritual thing and his friend gets sacrificed on the post and he gets taken away and put up on a tree by the monster. And he comes out and he burns and I want to talk about this in a second. He burns the whole like ritual area to the ground. The house goes down. He fucking kills a bunch of people, runs out of the house. When he's running away from the house and he turns around and you finally get like a real, good look for a long time at the monster. They do this amazing.
The house is burning behind it, right?
They do this amazing effect. Not an effect, but the house is burning behind it, so you only get the silhouette of the monster. Yep. And it's just like this perfect thing where it looks so real and it just looks natural in that scene. And it's such a great way to show it without really revealing like its whole top to bottom, figure. If that was in the daytime, you'd see everything of that monster. And in a lot of scenes in this, you do see it, but only for split seconds. For this, it was a long shot of them looking, back and forth. Hit the guy's close-up of the guy, the main character, and then back to the house. And then back to him, and then back to the house. So you see this big sprawling, this huge fucking giraffe-like monster. It's fucking wild, man. The way
I don't know if I'd say giraffe, but it was definitely fucking weird.
But it had the same type of like fucking gait as a giraffe, like the way it walked and shit.
Yeah, I guess so. It had like a neck to it, I would say.
It didn't. Yeah, I mean, listen, it wasn't a giraffe. It was this fucking weird. It was so weird how it was made up. It had like the 4 legs, and then the body went up, and then it had like its little face.
Hands.
Yeah, and hands and arms. It was so weird. I want to go back to the actual ritual part. So that kind of went over my head a little bit. So do you have any like insight that you could fill me in on with that? Like the little So fill me in.
So we're down to 2 guys, the main guy and the friend with the busted leg, and they're like, get here. They just lost the third to last guy.
Yeah.
And the main one scouts ahead again, and he starts to see lights, and you're like, oh, we're getting to the end of the movie here. Maybe that's the resort. And at the time, I thought that too. But then, another thing I thought back at the end, I was like, oh shit, that was them setting up for the ritual. It was just torches. It wasn't the resort they were going to.
Right.
So he gets that friend, and they end up at the house in the woods, the compound, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And because this group of people lives out there in the woods and they worship this god, and because they worship this god and make sacrifices to it, they're allowed to they can live longer lives. That's why technically I guess you call them people, but they were like skeletons upstairs in that compound. They were still alive because they worshipped that god. Like
that's
they
so fucked up.
Knows how long they were alive for.
Yeah, I want to make a quick comparison.
And actually, the main friend, this is what I understood, was chosen to join them.
Okay, yeah, right.
He had that mark on his chest.
Yeah.
The
He
girl
was chosen.
Talked to that sort of sympathized with them was chosen to stay with them.
Yeah. I want to make a quick
I think he
comparison.
says you'll worship him too.
Right. The
So
the the comparison I want to make is to Doctor Strange. Have you seen Doctor Strange?
like the Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that makes total sense to me in my head. It's kind of like this like fucking sick perverted, not perverted, but sick twisted, ideology that you worship this god, you live for indefinitely, but you're like but it's like the you sell your soul to the devil. It's not really what it seems.
Right.
In Doctor Strange, if you remember, the Ancient One and also the character that Mads Mikkelsen plays,
Hmm.
they are drawing power from the dark dimension, and Dormammu specifically is doing equate Dormammu to this the Loki spawn and the monster in this movie, and they're expecting life everlasting and this beautiful whatever, and it's not not what it seems. So that's what it kind of seems like here. Although I feel like that these fucking crazy people just like they don't care.
Hmm.
They're just like, oh, we're fucking these. So he just like, and that guy just walks in there and tortures all those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, the part at the end where, you get the full reveal of the creature, and it goes into some pose. Did you understand that?
No,
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, that's when it chases the main character down. And I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. I just watched it a couple days ago too, but I guess the names weren't really like memorable, honestly. But anyway, he's after the monster chases him down in the woods. It like forces him to the ground, and then it does the pose, right?
Yes.
So it does this. I don't know what that was. Maybe that was like it preparing the guy to be, part of the, part of the crew, part of the ship, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, maybe that was like what I don't know. It was like, being a god. It was like, showing its alpha. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. That was interesting. I should have looked it up a while ago, but that was really interesting. And so my final thought on this movie is that at the end, right? Credits roll. The one guy makes it out, and you assume that he is the least well off of this group of five. Group of five it was. What does he tell the families and significant others and everybody else of the people that he went with?
I always think about that in movies like this. You have to just disappear.
Yes,
you have to.
Now everybody's gonna think. Yeah, everyone has to think you're dead too.
Yeah, you have to
because
disappear.
They're gonna think you murdered all these people.
Yep, you have to just be gone off the face of the earth. Yeah, that's awful. And then speaking of awful, like going back to the beginning of the movie where, the whole thing kind of gets set up as this group of guys that go out, and then the main character wants to get another drink, and he goes to this like liquor store, and his friend gets fucking bludgeoned to death in the opening 10 minutes of the fucking movie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
Yeah, and he does nothing. The guy does nothing, and he hides, and so like the whole guilt of that happening, he felt powerless, and so the whole, his nightmares in the movie are always those flashbacks to that convenience store, which I thought was really cool and really well done. Like how it kept at first when he first had the nightmare of the convenience store, the liquor store, it was a full liquor store. It was, pretty much everything was like normal. But then as the movie goes on, the convenience store gets more and more distorted, and more of the woods is involved with it and weave through it. And then so finally, when that monster is chasing him through the woods, it's literally knocking over convenience store shelves to get to him.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy. And I thought like that weave of like, this monster is chasing him and this whole scenario is playing out in front of him, and his inside is like screaming to be the pussy person that he is and like give in to this monster. But then finally he has the gall and the balls to fight back. And that's kind of like what I got from it, which is like what he wish he could have done in the scenario in the beginning of the movie with his friend who got killed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. What What would you, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs medium? What are you giving this bad boy?
I give it a thumbs up. I give it a solid thumbs up.
I agree because it was I sort of went into it with medium expectations, and it was a lot more than I thought it was. I enjoyed this one.
Yep, and this is as always, this is a great sign for things to come from Netflix. The way that they're making, I mean, the people they're putting these things in their hands. These talented writers, directors, actors, producers. So this is the type of stuff that they make, along with Mudbound and all their other great original content. So very exciting stuff. Yeah, solid thumbs up.
So I wanted to propose a movie for next week's movie club.
Go for it. I got nothing.
Also, a Netflix movie.
Okay.
Starring Jared Leto called The Outsider.
Okay, The Outsider.
Have you heard about this one?
I actually have heard about it, but would you like to read a synopsis if you have one in front of
you? I would. An epic set in post-World War II Japan and centered on an American former GI who joins the Yakuza. Sounds pretty badass to me.
Yep, it sounds pretty cool.
So I'm excited to watch this one. I almost watched it the other day, but then I was going to watch the original Batman, and I ended up watching The Dark Knight. So